Has this ever happened to you where you have a vision for your project that you're fired up about? You get started thinking, this is a great idea. I know exactly what to do. I'll be finished in no time. And you actually do make a lot of progress. But at some point, the project mysteriously starts to grow. And before you know it, the project has ballooned beyond anything you could have even imagined. And finish line? Nowhere in sight. Despite your best efforts, you're exhausted, and it seems there's no other option but to put your project on permanent pause. So I started this YouTube channel recently, and I was running into this exact same problem. No matter which idea I chose, and no matter how simple and achievable it seemed, it would just grow into some unwieldy beast. Well, I thought, is there a way to create a system, a framework to attack this very problem and put an end to it? If you've ever struggled with this situation before, stick around because I feel like I've actually cracked the code on this one. And the proof is that you're watching this right now.
Nomaditsu.
Hey, I'm Ray, minimalist digital nomad from Toronto, now enjoying the sights, sounds, and experiences of Bangkok, Thailand. Combining travel adventures across nearly 30 countries, a design career spanning 2 decades at some of Canada's top tech companies, and just as many years going toe-to-toe with ADHD, perfectionism, and imposter syndrome. I'm now curating the most essential life hacks, tools, and systems I've uncovered at nomad.com. If you're a fellow life optimizer, I'd love for you to join me on this journey by hitting subscribe and joining the newsletter in the link below. Now on with the show. Didn't mean that to rhyme. So just as a side note, I'll be talking about scope creep from a communication perspective in these examples, but you'll see that it could be applied to projects as well. So to solve this problem, I rewound to first principles. I had to ask, what exactly am I struggling with here? And I determined it must be a failure of communication. It was like I was trapped inside my own head and I couldn't get to the other side of communicating my message. So what is communication in the first place? At its core, communication is about getting an idea from one mind to another. Successful communication achieves that with near perfect accuracy. For example, I say spaceship and the spaceship you imagine is the same as what I was imagining. So that would be successful. And unsuccessful communication would be the idea gets to you, but it's distorted or it doesn't get to you at all. So for example, I say spaceship and I'm thinking SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, but what you're picturing is a flying saucer. That was not intended. Another example would be you didn't picture anything at all because you didn't hear me or you didn't want to hear me. So what's the challenge? The challenge comes when we're trying to bring a project to a close, but we feel we need to keep adding relevant details. And the problem is we feel all the details are relevant. So it's important to remember that this desire is coming from a good place. We fear that leaving out key details might do the audience or consumer a disservice. Unfortunately, we have to realize that this same impulse is what causes the project to spiral out of control. And that leaves the creator burnt out and potentially having the project be abandoned. But don't worry, there is a solution. So how did the solution come about? I thought if I visualized communication with a metaphor, maybe I'd be able to see better where I was going wrong. I wondered if ideal communication is getting an idea to another head with perfect fidelity. How exactly is that being done? What does it look like? And for that, I had to zoom back one more level and think, what is an idea? An idea is bits of information arranged in a specific way. So when we're trying to communicate an idea, we're giving the other person bits of information and helping them arrange those bits in the same way we have them arranged in our head. Immediately, the visual came to mind where your idea can be represented as a Lego structure, and giving it to others can be seen as you giving them the same Lego set with instructions so they could rebuild the same structure in their own mind. Now I know it seems basic, but this is where the aha moment came in. If the Lego set is how communication works, then what's the equivalent of adding on to the project with no end in sight? And that's when it hit me. The equivalent of this problem is like never being able to settle on putting just one Lego model on the front of the box. It just became so clear. So imagine I said to you, hey, would you like to build this spaceship model? You would see the model and say, hell yeah, I'm into spaceships. I would love to build that. I'm in. But what if instead I said, hey, would you like to build this spaceship, pirate, ninja, zombie, Barbie, Oppenheimer, submarine, motorcycle? Now that may seem interesting for some people, and I'd like to see you in the comments below, but for most people, if they see that mashup on the box and then they compare it to all the other boxes in the marketplace of ideas, what do you think they would say? Most would say, there's no way I'm spending my time or money building that monstrosity. I don't even understand what the heck it is. So I'll take that spaceship over there. And this is where I saw the source of my problem. Because I didn't settle on just one thing to put on the Lego box, my project would just keep growing because there were no boundaries or constraints. Everything can go in the box because there's no one picture. Or maybe I knew about the picture on the box, but I lost it in the process. I got too excited with all the other ideas. So by choosing to put one thing on the box and just remembering that that picture is there, it makes it clear what the constraints are, and it makes it easy to decide what to add in and what to keep out. Okay, the solution. This realization led me to develop this bricks framework, and it keeps a tight alignment to the Lego visual we just talked about, which makes it more intuitive and memorable. It's also a step-by-step process designed to streamline your workflow, keep you focused, and bring your projects to a successful close. So here's how it works. The B in BRICS stands for box. I know it sounds simple, but choose one, just one main idea for your project or communication. This is the equivalent of choosing just one model to feature on the Lego box. This is the most crucial step for those of us who tend to scope creep. Whenever you're tempted to put just one more idea on there, just remember you're adding more things to that image on the box. You may have good intentions adding more, but if you imagine this visual, you'll see that you're actually hurting your project by making it more convoluted and confusing. Now, if you're worried about the ideas that you're cutting out, just remember you can make Lego boxes for them too, and give each of them a chance to shine on their own. But right now, it's time for your main idea to shine. Now, the R in BRICS stands for round up. You round up your 3 main points to support your main idea. You can see this as the 3 foundational blocks for your model, or the 3 most distinctive blocks. Without these blocks or supporting points, your idea doesn't stand on its own. Now, I stands for inlay, where you inlay your remaining points. And this is just like adding the rest of your bricks to complete your structure. The C stands for check. At this stage, you check all of the points you have laid out and that they flow together seamlessly. And you're checking that all the points are complete. They're enough to communicate the overall idea and nothing more. Now, the K in BRICS stands for Kompose. And yeah, it's spelled a little differently, and that's just to help you remember it better. Here, you create your final draft based on all the points in your outline. And you could think of this as you're writing the full instruction booklet for your Lego model. And finally, we have S. It's time to share. Share your masterpiece, share your magnum opus, and see people's eyes light up as they construct that beautiful idea for themselves. So by following the BRICS framework, you'll be able to rein in your infinite ideas and focus in on what truly matters and effectively deliver your message or project to your audience. So in conclusion, just like a Lego model you see sitting on a store shelf, shipping a successful project or communication can benefit by adhering to a clear picture. The BRICS framework provides you with a tool to avoid the temptation to go overboard with all of your amazing ideas and keep you focused on the original vision you wanted to deliver. Whether you're a creative professional or simply someone who wants to express themselves, the BRICS framework can help you communicate your message effectively and ensure your project sees the light of day. So what did you think? I hope that was as much a game changer for you as it was for me. If it helped you out, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, share with a friend who could benefit. It'll help them and it'll be a huge boost for a newbie YouTuber like myself. And I'd love to hear your stories if you've implemented this. Who knows, maybe your story could be featured in a future video. Oh, and if you want a summary of this framework, don't forget to subscribe to my Gumroad newsletter where I'll be sharing this and other future tools. All the links are in the description below. That's all for me for now. Thanks for listening. Until next time, keep optimizing.
Nomaditsu.